why is it that someone who's working in a restaurant tends to feel low than somebody who's working in a hospital as a doctor?
He says, it doesn't matter to me. You are my representative in whatever position you are. From this to this to this to that, I'm going to help you. As long as you are committed to use the potential and the talent I've given you, whatever you are, wherever you are representing Allah. Can you imagine? We are not thinking with the mind of the heart. Inna Rabbi latiful lima yasha'u. Inna Rabbi latiful lima yasha'u. Allah accomplishes His will in the most subtle manner.
My dear brothers and sisters, viewers, welcome to the third episode of Deep Dive into the Quran. In episode 2, we have seen how Yusuf alayhi salam has come out of every situation that he was put in, and all the tasks that he has done so gracefully, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him the knowledge to come out of those things. It is very rare that we think about small things and we tend to forget our ability and the intelligence that we have, whatever situation we're in. And of course, Yusuf alayhi salam served in many different areas of life, and he came out of it with flying colors. And it's amazing that in this world, in the world in general, that not everybody is a doctor, not everybody is a professor or a lawyer, but we have people who are working in every aspects of life, such as cleaners, taxi drivers, restaurant workers, chefs, whatever you call it. And yet, we all have a purpose to serve in life. And it is, what's really intriguing me is, why is it that someone who's working in a restaurant tends to feel low than somebody who's working in a hospital as a doctor? How would you relate to those different professions but a different mindset?
This is a very, very, I would say, deep question. This is a question and issue which touches the human psychology in the deepest manner. We need to understand, Brother Momin, dear viewers, that we represent Allah in whatever capacity He has put us in. And I am going to bring an ayah from Qur'an which will, inshallah, open our mind, our heart, our understanding of what and how we should tackle this question. Allah says in Surah Al-An'am, in the last verse of Surah Al-An'am, verse 165, it is Allah who made you His representatives on the earth and raises some of you above others in ranks to test you through what He has given you. Brother Momin, this is Surah Al-An'am, last verse, verse number 165.
It's a very profound verse, Dr. Khattak.
So, coming back to your question, to Allah, it doesn't matter. It is He who has made you a king. It is He who has put you in a position of a chef. It is He who has made you a doctor. It is He who helped you to become a professor. It is He who has put you in a position of a taxi driver. He says, it doesn't matter to me. You are my representative in whatever position you are. Whether you are a taxi driver, whether you are a chef, whether you are a takeaway man, whether you are a doctor, whether you are a professor, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are a king, whether you are a politician, whether you are a businessman, that is that is Allah who has put you in that position. The crux of the matter is, he says, he is testing you through whatever he has given you, in whatever position he has put you. He expects you to represent him in that position,
At the highest manner.
in the highest possible manner, with the most beautiful conduct. If you are a taxi driver, your taxi should be the most beautiful, clean, good smelling. You should serve the customer in the best possible manners. If you are a doctor, your patient should be the highest possible priority for you. Coming to you in the most vulnerable situation, as Allah's vulnerable, weak, ill creation, you are looking after them as Allah's representative, looking after their illness, treating them as Allah's representative. If you are a teacher, you are teaching the students as Allah's representative. If you are a takeaway man, you are serving the community, your customers, as Allah's representative, giving them the best possible food, the cleanest possible food, the most tayyib, pure possible food, using the most pure ingredients. If you are a laborer, you do your labor in the best possible, most honorable way, in most honest way. From the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, you saw he was put in different situation. He was the beloved son, and he behaved in the most beautiful manner, becoming even more endearing to his parents. When he was sold as a slave, he served his master in the most beautiful way, in the most honest and loyal manner, that he became so dear to the master. When he was the prisoner, he was the most humble, most helpful, most compassionate companion to the other prisoners. And yet, when he became the advisor to the Pharaoh, to king, he served the king and the country in the most honest, in the most efficient, in the most competent manner. And when he became the ruler, he was such a ruler. Look at, he played all the roles. He was put in all the roles of what, Brother Momin, you are talking about.
Yeah.
When he became the ruler, he ruled Egypt in such a way that for the next 4 centuries and a half, his progeny, his children, carried on ruling Egypt. So, brothers and sisters, whatever you are, wherever you are representing Allah.
You know, some of us sometimes lose that thinking that, oh my God, why did Allah not made me wealthy? Why has He made me a restaurant worker, a waiter, and not a teacher or a politician or somebody who can earn more money? But He knows best why He has made who He has made, isn't it? So it is us, like you said, we should make the most and the best out of our service in the name of Allah.
And I'll explain it further. You beautifully summarized it. The more resources given to any person by Allah, the more power given to any person, the more wealth given to any person, the more influence given to any person by Allah, the more the accountability.
Yes.
The more the responsibility, and as a result, more the accountability.
And Allah tests you more on it according to the roles.
So that's why Allah's Prophet would pray. This is amazing. Oh Allah, raise me among the poor and destitute on the day of Qiyamah. I didn't used to understand the meaning of that prayer.
Interesting.
Because if he's raised among the destitute and the poor, they have got such little to be held accountable for, to be responsible for, that the accountability will be very easy. The responsibility will be little. And brothers and sisters, we are supposed to not judge ourselves, our ranks, our status by the material goods we have or we obtain or we achieve. It is by the way we conduct ourselves, the way we carry ourselves, the way we approach our roles in life. And I've just said it, that in episode 2, that there are many lessons. Allah has said many lessons, not one lesson, in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. When he was prepared to use the talent, the potential given to him by Allah in a proper manner, he was able to come out of every bad, difficult situation and go to a better situation. From a slave, from a prisoner, right up to the ruler of a country. But he was prepared to use the talent given to him, the knowledge given to him, and use it in the most proper, honest manner, in the most dedicated manner, keeping his intentions pure, to use it for the benefit of the mankind, of the people around him, not being selfish at all at any time. In whatever situation he was, whether as a prisoner, whether as a slave, at the heart, he was always having the intention of being sincere and helpful and beneficial to the people around. And each time Allah raised him to a higher and a higher and a higher and a higher level. So I wouldn't feel bad about anything. What I would rather accept and take as is that if I am at a lower level and rank,
Yes.
I've been put there and Allah is watching me with all the love and all the help He's going to give me, to say, okay, Altaf, move on. From this to this to this to that, I'm going to help you. As long as you are committed to use the potential and the talent I've given you, and as long as you remain sincere, as long as you remain honest, as long as you are thinking of the benefiting my creation around you.
No, absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think you said it very beautifully. How rarely, seldom do we think about those little things? I don't think the viewers who are watching, I certainly don't always think about those small things, but more powerful things in life. And had we all thought about this, I think we will all be raised to different ranks with different experiences in life. It's wonderful what you have said and what you have analyzed, from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And the ordinary people or the mass people, the society, don't think that way. They're always blaming themselves. Oh, I've been cursed to be a cleaner. I've been cursed to be a low-level jobs or this. But potential is in everybody. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts people in different rank and testing them according to their intentions, according to their hard work, according to knowledge and skills. It is they themselves who needs to uplift, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always rises to the intention of His creations, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, not a single creation has Allah created without a purpose.
Allahu Akbar, yes.
It is for the creation that is the test. To understand what purpose he is created for and what capacity has he been given or she been given. And then making use of that capacity, that potential, working towards achieving that purpose, fulfilling the objective of and the purpose of his or her creation. That is the most important thing. That is the most important thing. The other thing, sorry to
No.
carry on, is I will quote a very inspiring anecdote
Sure.
which I read about. A tourist actually lands in Pakistan or some country, Bangladesh or India, and he comes out of airport and he's looking for a taxi which he has booked, but the taxi doesn't arrive.
Mm-hmm.
So he's waiting there. Meanwhile, a smartly dressed young man comes and he asks this tourist that, "Are you looking for a taxi, sir? You must be very tired and probably your taxi hasn't come, which you booked." This tourist gets very surprised that how did he know all these things and how can he be so. So he said, "Yes, that is the case." So he said, "Sir, in that case, if you wish to wait further for the taxi you have booked, that's fine by me. But if you wish, I have my own taxi service. You can come and I'll take you wherever you want to take me, want me to take you." So this tourist, this is the narration by the tourist, by the way. So this is the narration by that tourist. So this tourist looks at this guy. He's well dressed. His shoes, his hair, his otherwise clean, tidy, everything. So very mannerful. So he said, "Okay, let's go." When he comes to the taxi, he is even more surprised. It is sparkling from outside, absolutely clean. And this guy, taxi driver, opens the door for him. And when he enters the taxi, he is even more pleasantly surprised. There's a nice smell in the taxi. And it is absolutely spotless inside. So he sits in the taxi, and the man closed the door behind him, sits in the driving seat, and he says that, "Sir, would you like to read anything, a newspaper, to update yourself what's happening in the city?" This tourist says, "This is out of this world. What kind of a taxi I'm in and what kind of a person is this?" So he said, "Okay." Mm-hmm. So he takes a newspaper from him. The taxi driver gives him a newspaper. And then he says to him, "Which route do you want me to take you? Through the scenic route or straight to your hotel?" He said, "I'm very tired, straight to my hotel." So now this man who is narrating this story, he actually gets really interested, and because of being really intrigued by this taxi driver. So he says to this taxi driver, "You're not going to tell me that you serve drinks as well on this taxi?" He said, "What would you like to have, hot or cold? Coffee, tea, or something cold, soft drinks? We don't serve anything else." He said, "My God." And he gives him a cup of coffee as well. He said, "I put always this because my thing." Anyway, to cut a long story short, when they arrive at the hotel, this man goes out and the tourist asks him, "I have never come across anybody in my life like yourself. Why do you do it?" He said that, "I have learned one lesson, sir. Whatever I have and whatever I do, if I do it to the best of my capacity, making sure that I make every interaction the most pleasant one for my customer, they will remember me and hopefully they will ask for my services next time as well. And so far, I have never been disappointed." And this tourist says The next thing he did was ask for his card. And since whenever he goes to that city, he always asks for this same taxi and the taxi driver. There it shows you. There it shows the attitude, the mentality, the mindset. It doesn't matter. If you are a prime minister and you are foul-mouthed, you are ill-mannered, you are cruel, you are corrupt, what good is that prime minister? If you are a billionaire and you have stolen that money, you are a drug dealer, you are a corrupt politician, what good is that money? If you are a doctor and you are a bad doctor and many patient comes to harm at your hand, what good is that doctor? If you are a professor and you are a bad teacher, you can't impart knowledge, what good is that professorship? Yet, if you are a taxi driver like this taxi driver, you are 10 times better than any of those billionaires and those prime ministers and those professors and doctors. That is what Allah says in this ayah. When He says, it is Allah who made you His representative on the earth and raises some of you above others in ranks to test you through what He has given you. Dear viewers, brothers and sisters, do not underappreciate, underestimate the position you are in. Do not think that what you are doing is not worth it or is worthless. It is you who make it worthy. It is your attitude what makes whatever you're doing worthy of it being done. This is what one lesson I've learned in my life. And this is what I try to do. Sometimes I succeed, most of the time I fall short because I do not try hard enough. I do not appreciate the talent, the potential, the knowledge, the capacity which Allah has given me. And for that I actually seek forgiveness. That's why even our Prophet, the perfect creation, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said he seeks forgiveness more than 100 times a day because he was worried that the capacity, the potential given to him by Allah, he may not be using it to the full capacity, may not be making use of his full potential. It's not that he was committing mistakes or na'uzubillah min zalika sins. Then why was he asking for forgiveness more than 100 times? He was worried that Allah may have given him the capacity, the potential, the talent to do even more, and yet he may be falling short of that. Brother Momin, I hope I've been able to explain this aspect of your question as best as I could.
No, I think you've really hit the nail on the head there, as they say, the British say, and you've explained the terminology extremely well. That given the potential and the talent and the manner and the attitude which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects from His creation as a perfect example. And I think we should all strive towards that. And in doing that, I think there is a lot of self-fulfillment in it, pride in it. You know, many of my friends who are taxi drivers, I say to them, they think, I'm only a taxi driver. And that slags their heads down. You know, they're very shameful to say, I'm a taxi driver. And I say to them, look, you have the utmost responsible job as a public servant and a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you are carrying His creation is one thing. You are also carrying the public in your taxi. It's a very important job you do. So don't underestimate that you have a lot of responsibility of care to take this person from A to B. And if you do well, you get self-satisfaction. The customer also gets the self-satisfaction, just like how you described it in a beautiful manner. But many people don't appreciate that. They think I'm only there to take people from here to there and get the pound out of them. I said it's not. It's as important as somebody who's ruling the country. I always put that. I mean, I'm in the, as a community practitioner, I've been working with the community for over 30 years now. And I find that when I do my best in helping someone, in attaining someone something, I find they said, Alhamdulillah, through me, I was able to do something for somebody. And I get a great reward in my own self. And I say, energy as well, that wow, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me that opportunity to serve His creation. And I think many of us don't take that into our heart, that how good we are, that we are here on this earth to serve His servants, His creations. If every one of us could think that I have a purpose in life to serve to the best of my ability, it would be a different world. I just want to quote another thing that I've heard from the Prophet ﷺ. He was visiting a grave, and they were, rushing to cover the grave up, and the grave wasn't done properly. It was all messy. Some was empty, some this, and he got little bit annoyed in the sense. And he says, whenever you do something, do it to perfection.
Absolutely.
And that is something that has stayed in my mind. That whenever you do something, do it to perfection. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves perfections.
And the second, there's another hadith on similar lines. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that Allah is perfect and He likes perfection.
Alhamdulillah. That's what we.
And the perfection doesn't mean that it is in some way a material sort of a thing, a status thing or something. No, perfection means whatever you are doing, whatever position you are in, just deliver on that position, in that status, to your perfect capacity, capabilities, and do it as perfectly as you can.
Yeah.
That is one thing.
Absolutely.
Quoting another example is in hospital, and it is very frequently, in the night when I'm either coming out of hospital, visiting to see some patient. So it's late in the night, 11 o'clock, and I'll see these ladies who are actually cleaning the corridors and cleaning the staircases and the doors. And the way they are doing it, the way they are focused to perfection, actually the manner they are doing their duty has forced me so many times, really, Brother Momin,
Yes.
really viewers, that I am compelled to go to them and I say to them, thank you very much for keeping this hospital so beautiful and so clean. If you don't do it the way you are doing, you're carrying out your duty, we won't enjoy this environment. And that inspires me. And the smile I see on their face, and the way they feel happy about being appreciated for doing their duty perfectly, with dedication, with pride, makes me proud of them and inspires me to do my duty better as a doctor. So that is how Allah has said that I test you by whatever position I've put you in. I see how do you deliver, how do you do your job, how do you represent me. That is even more profound. In whatever position you are representing me. You are my Khalifa. Khalifa means representative, ambassador. Wow. So whether you are a taxi driver, whether you are a doctor, whether you are a minister, or whether you are a millionaire, that doesn't matter. I want you to represent me as I deserve to be represented.
Allahu Akbar. That's very beautifully been summarized and said. So we have come to the end of our third episode here, and I hope you have taken something from you. I certainly have learned a lot of points in that. And I think what the shortest summary that I would say is that whatever you're doing, do it to your perfections. Do it to the perfections that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with. And every step of the way, my brothers and sisters, we are tested upon what we do as a task. So the task to be done with great honesty, integrity, and also with great dedications and perfections. And be proud of what you do. Whatever the job task is, we're all in different ranks, and you never know what ranks we may go into. We may go into from a cleaner to becoming a prime minister, from becoming a cleaner to becoming a doctor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, and it is you who make that possible, and it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who installs in you. So inshallah, we will have you in the next talks. We'll have another exciting topics for you, inshallah, by Dr. Altaf Khatak here. And of course, I'm really grateful to Dr. Altaf Khatak for bringing this episode in a very meticulous and analytical way, where it gets the viewers, and particularly myself here, being very fortunate to be able to take informations from him. So Jazakumullah khairan, Dr. Altaf Khatak, and inshallah we will go into our next topic with another surprising talk, inshallah.
Allah, all praise belong to Allah. Everything is from His side. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. We are what we are because that's the way Allah wanted us to be. And may Allah give us the tawfiq, the capacity, the capability, the will to serve Him in a way, the way He would like us to serve Him. Inshallah. Jazakallah al-khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And may Allah be our guide and guide our hearts and our thoughts the way He wants it to be, and the way as near to truth as possibly in my capacity and your capacity,
Inshallah.
it can be.
Inshallah.